Hello and welcome to today's Yumbles seller interview. I am Katie Kitiri, one of the founders of Yumbles, and I'm thrilled today to be speaking with an incredible chocolatier from the heart of West Sussex, who's been successfully selling on Yumbles for just over 3 years now. A fun fact, they actually launched pretty much on day one of the pandemic, so they've been with us throughout it all, the rocky ride of the last few years. So without further ado, Rory, if I can ask you to introduce yourself and your business.
Good morning, Katie. I'm Rory Payne. I'm the Managing Director of Cocoa Loco, an organic, fair trade, palm oil-free, plastic-free packaging chocolate company and partner to Yumbles.
Fantastic, great. So Rory, when did the Cocoa Loco business start, and really what was the kind of the inspiration for the start of the business?
So Cocoa Loco started 18 years ago now. It seems a long time, in 2005. My wife, Sarah, was the founder. Our youngest child was just going to school. And Sarah said to me, I'm going to sell my brownies on eBay. Now, back in 2005, no one was selling food on eBay. Sadly, I was a little skeptical of the idea, but hey, what do I know? I'm now the managing director of Cocoa Loco.
You know to listen to your wife. I was
Absolutely.
at eBay in 2005, so how funny, our paths almost crossed. And also Sarah and you both must have been the dream parents to your children, starting a chocolate and brownies business for sure.
I'm not sure they felt that when they weren't.
Not sure. No, the reality I know of having two parents running a business is not so glamorous. I know. Great. So you started out in brownies, and then when did the business transition? Because you're much more, chocolate than baked goods these days. So what led to the kind of transition from brownies onto chocolate?
Yeah, Sarah started the business in our kitchen at home. She very much started at farmers markets and recognised that actually there was an opportunity to expand. So not only do farmers markets but supply small local farm shops. So Sarah started making chocolate bars, and then one of her customers said, I'm getting married, would you make some truffles for my wedding, for wedding favours? So Sarah got into, learned how to do that. And our range expanded from there. Sarah's creativity is boundless. We currently have over 100 products that we make during the course of a year. I think if Sarah had free reign, that would probably be 500.
Yeah, I mean, you've got, the fantastic bars, but you've also got some lovely shapes, fun shapes and novelties that you do throughout the year. So that must be a really fun creative process at your end. So one of the, the strongest features of your business is that you describe yourself as 100% ethical. And it's fair trade, it's organic, but also what's remarkable is it's also 100% plastic free. So can you tell me about what was the origins for kind of deciding to go down this 100% ethical route? What was and how have you found that in terms of the impact on the business?
We started the business, or Sarah started the business, based on three key principles. One was quality. The products need to taste good. We need to have good tasting ingredients, and that is a baseline for us. If an ingredient doesn't taste good, we won't use it. The second thing is we took our ethics into the business, so we've been organic from the start, and we joined Fair Trade in 2010, and it took us a few years to move our whole range Fair Trade. And again, in terms of taking our ethics into the business, we wanted to be environmentally friendly from the start. It's at the core of the business. We were petitioning on our website from day one against the use of plastic bags, before the ubiquitous tote bag was a popular thing. And we kind of, learned the hard way that you can't ram your environmental passions down your customers' throats. You just need to do the right thing and share your passion and provide information for those that want to know more. And that kind of vision has taken us through the whole way. So a natural part of that change and evolution over the 18 years was very much sparked by a customer reaction to the David Attenborough Blue Planet program. I know it's a few years behind us now, but that had quite a profound impact on the nation when they realized how much plastic was going into the environment.
Right. Yeah.
And we stopped and said, well, we are a small business. We sit within supply chains. What can we do? And we made the decision that we would change our packaging to move away from plastic, and we couldn't control the large suppliers upstream who make things by the ton and in the million.
Yeah.
And we couldn't control the disjointed recycling system in the UK, which means that sometimes it is hard for customers to reprocess biodegradable films, for example. But our view was we could only control what we could control, so we'd influence that bit and take plastic out of our packaging. And that's how we got there.
Okay, and so you're using biodegradable, compostable cellophane, is that right? Is that?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we've got a range of materials from different suppliers, some bespoke, some off the shelf, but they all have the key characteristics. Either they are suitable for home composting or they're suitable for industrial composting.
Yeah.
Now, what we're actually seeing in the marketplace at the moment is some of our there seems to be a market trend pushing back towards plastic, which we find quite unusual.
Yeah.
And the reason that's happening is the larger companies recognize the recycling problems for the consumer at home and feel that plastic can be recycled. But we're still seeing a really strong consumer demand for no plastic. So
yeah,
there's a bit of a conflict coming, and I don't know how that's going to play out in the marketplace.
Yeah, interesting. Definitely something to keep an eye on. And so it's been quite a few years now you transitioned towards this plastic free or been on this plastic free. And what has been the customer reaction? If you've found not only does it feel absolutely the right thing to do and fits with your values, but have you found the customer reaction is clearly kind of approving and supporting you on that?
Absolutely. I'll give you a really practical example of strong customer views. Sending Easter eggs through the post is a bit of a nightmare. And we have a biodegradable, it's ubiquitously known as flow chip, those kind of plasticky looking packing chips.
Yeah.
We have a biodegradable packing chip that we use to pack our Easter eggs in the post. We had customers sending those back to us, thinking they were polystyrene, plastic, actually taking the trouble to post them back to us with a note saying, we don't want plastic packaging, take this stuff back, you reuse it. And actually that prompted us to put a label onto all of our boxes explaining to our customers that actually it came from sustainable sources and was biodegradable.
Right.
To stop that reaction of sending them back, because for those let's say 10 people that take the trouble to send it back and point out the issue to you, how many hundreds or thousands are sitting there at home thinking this isn't acceptable, but not letting you know, but voting with their feet and buying elsewhere?
Absolutely. The unhappy customers you hear from are always a fraction of the reality, for sure. Okay, that's a great point. It's great to see. I mean, it is still quite rare that a business of your type is so committed to the plastic free and actually achieving it, because I know it's challenging sourcing the materials and making it work. Great. So what for you, 18 years, you've been through a lot, pandemic aside, there's been lots more. What for you is kind of, and Sarah, has been a real kind of standout highlight for your business?
That is a really good question. I think we're very modest. we're probably very British in that respect, so
Yeah,
we're not
to be
very
honest,
good at.
it's no mean feat running a chocolate business for 18 years. You should definitely be patting yourself on the back.
Thank you. So I think really the kind of the odd bit of the external recognition that has come up across our journey. In 2008, the Times newspaper and the Soil Association ran an Organic Food Hero Award. Cocoa Loco won.
Oh wow!
We couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And a couple of years later, the Sunday Telegraph magazine came and did an interview with Sarah in the kitchen, and there were these giant glossy pictures in the middle of in the middle of the magazine that comes out on the Sunday papers, and the actor Robert Pattinson was on the front cover, and
mixing with the stars.
Exactly. It's utterly surreal when you're just sat here day in day out, worrying about the cost of ingredients and whether deliveries are going to arrive on time, and then suddenly you kind of get this external recognition and realize that there are other people that are interested and love your product because you're just caught up in your little bubble.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's so important when you're running a small business, is to have those minutes of appreciating what you've built. It is a real challenge building any business, particularly I think a food business. So fantastic. So and what do what kind of gets you up in the morning and motivates you? What do you love most about, I guess, running your business?
Chocolate.
Why did I ask?
I get out of bed and come to a building filled with chocolate.
Yeah.
And I often get asked what's my favorite chocolate, and the very simple answer is it depends on the time of day. I eat different things depending on different times of the day. I love a cookie in the morning with a cup of tea. 11's is. And normally about 4 o'clock I hit a bit of a flat spot, and so I go into the kitchen looking for a little bit of dark chocolate to pick me up.
Yeah, I'm a mid-afternoon dark chocolate person for sure. It's essential. Okay, so you are proof then there's no such thing as too much chocolate. So even running a chocolate business for 18 years, you're still enjoying it.
Yeah, very much so. I'm still not tired of it. You hear these stories of people that work in mass-produced food businesses who fill themselves up in the first couple of weeks and then can't eat it again. I'm testament to we've been going 18 years and I'm not tired of chocolate yet.
Yeah, it's the magic of chocolate. It's going to be my longest relationship for sure. So and what in running your business, what do you find? Because I think it's always interesting to hear from other foodpreneurs. What is the most challenging aspect for you of running the business?
That's a really good question. I mean, the challenge over the course of 18 years, the challenges have varied. I suppose the biggest surprise goes back to the early days. I used to work in IT for a large bank, and Sarah had been running the company for about 18 months before I came and joined her, and you go from I describe large businesses as oil tankers, in the sense of there's somebody working down the other end of the ship. They're the marketing department. You have a rough idea of what they do, but you don't really know in detail. And then there's the engineers down the other end of the ship that are fixing things and maintaining things, and you have a rough idea, but you don't really know what they do. And then suddenly you're landed in a small business, and suddenly you are that marketing department, you are that engineering team. Suddenly when there's a press inquiry to come on the local radio, you look round and go, oh, which one of us is going to do it? There is nobody else. And I think that was one of the biggest surprises. But it's great, you get to do all sorts of fun and weird and wonderful things. And it's a journey, it's an adventure. You take some wrong turns, of course you do, but that's all part of life's rich pattern.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And what for you, if you were to start the business again, is there anything that you would be like, yeah, we would definitely do that differently? Is there anything that stands out?
Oh, that's a really good question. 18 years worth of business regrets.
Yeah.
So many what ifs. Yeah, there was a period at the start of the business where there were very few food businesses online.
Mm.
And I think in hindsight, we weren't complacent, but we didn't realize the luxury, the luxury of the position we were in at that time.
Mhm.
And we didn't make the investments into online that in hindsight maybe we should have done. And it's a fast-paced, ever-changing world.
Mhm.
And it's only going to get faster and quicker. We have the advent of AI coming, and none of us can see how that's fully going to transform the way that we not only personally interact, but also shop online and buy products, etc. So, there's a brave new world ahead of us, and you've got to A, embrace it, B, be wary of it, and C, invest in it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, AI is very much the topic of the day for almost every business now. Almost every business trying to figure out two things: how can we make use of this thing? How could it be helpful for our business? And two, what might it do in terms of impact on my business? So, have you made any use of AI yet? Have you had any thoughts of how you might make use of AI?
The most simple one is just to use the likes of ChatGPT just to help you structure your thoughts, whether that's in responding to a customer or putting a business case together for the bank. It's like everything in life, that AI is not the be all and end all. It's a tool. And so at the moment, that's our level of engagement. Sometimes we have to stop and say we're a chocolate business.
Yeah,
what we do is make chocolate. That's our area of expertise.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you mentioned there that, going back, you wish you kind of invested and thought more of the online part of your business. What would you say, over the years, selling through your own website and on Yumbles, etc., what have you learned as some key tips for doing it well online now?
Key tips: people shop with their eyes. So product photography is really key. I think I don't have the figures, but people's attention spans before they swipe, before they move on, are quite short. So it's just trying to catch their attention with the image. I think the majority of people go online if they're they're looking for food or they're looking for chocolate. Ethics come second, so you need to be able to display that. But it shouldn't be at the it's not the forefront reason that they're there. I suppose it's being alert to trends. It's being alert to the value of partnerships. As you've mentioned and I've mentioned, we have our own website, but actually Yumbles is a really valuable partner to us. And one of the things we said from the start is that we didn't want to take Cocoa Loco into the supermarkets.
Yeah.
Now the supermarkets represent about 85% of the food sales within the UK. So starting a business and say, well, I'm only going to sell to 15% of the market sounds like madness. But actually, we wanted to work with like-minded people that we enjoyed working with. And that's why having a partnership with a business like Yumbles is great, because we're actually able to work together. We're not working with corporate behemoths who you can't talk to anybody, who are trying to screw you down for the last penny. We want to work with people, and business and society is about people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think particularly when you run your own business, so much, obviously there's the commercial hat that's so important, but you also want to feel like you're building a business in a way that makes sense for you and makes you feel good, and that makes you happy every day. And we see so many food businesses that end up getting burnt out because they find the reality, the passion is killed, and the realities of it, and they've maybe gone down paths that didn't fit with what they really wanted to be doing. So it's clear that there's such a strong sense of who you are and what your values are and what matters to you in your business. That's very commendable. Fantastic. All right, well, thank you so much, Rory, for sharing some of the fabulous Cocoa Loco story today. We really enjoyed our chat and hearing more about your fantastic business.
Lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.